Everybody calm down! It's Canada's Drag Race season! Hi, hello everyone, my name is Jer and I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control. And I think I like it. I cannot believe that we are in Canada's Drag Race Season 6, and there has not been an All-Stars, by the way. Today we are going to be talking about Canada's Drag Race Season 6, Episode 1, Not Sorry About It. There is so much to talk about, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think that this could be a renaissance for Canada's Drag Race, because Season 6 so far is electric. I have been reviewing Canada's Drag Race since Season 3 on my old channel, and I have not missed a beat. I am always sat for this series. It seems that this season they have filtered all of the good parts, retained those, and nailed down the format. For this premiere episode, we have a non-elimination because the world needs drag now more than ever, as they say. There are a lot of positives for a non-elimination first episode, but I love that we just get to see their aesthetics and their branding and their personalities with no looming stress. The prize this week is that the top 5 queens will get valuable critiques from the judges, and one of those people, Van Gogh, will get to lip sync with Brooke. This would be a situation where I would be crapping my pants. Just thinking about lip syncing next to Brooke, I feel like my career would be over as a drag performer, but props to Van Gogh for keeping up. And for their very first maxi challenge, they will have to do an introductory music video to a reprise of Not Sorry About It, which is a fantastic callback to Season 1. I'm glad to see Canada's Drag Race embracing some of its alumni culture. A lot of the other franchises, like we see Drag Race Italia and Drag Race Thailand, Drag Race España definitely does this, where they look back at their old seasons, pull legacy challenges in, pull in old contestants, and incorporate them into the formula of the new and current seasons. And so I'm glad to see Canada doing that, because this was a fantastic episode and a great song to pull from. In addition, Lemon is also there to burn down the building and absolutely showed those girls who is the raptress of the North, because she did not need to do those girls dirty like that. She ate up her verse. It was so iconic. And the runway category is more is more. For something like this, I'm expecting excess to the 9s, to the 10s even. And I feel like we got a good mix of excess and a good mix of interesting. So let's talk about the contestants, their performance, and their runway all as one package. Star Doll kicks off the season, first one in the workroom. She is Suki's daughter, which I love to see. Her entrance look was very cute. I love the big star. I think it makes a great first impression and is a good visual to walk in the workroom in. In the music video, she was giving me some grade A Arizona brandy wiggatry. Her voice blew me away. That performance was sick. And it kind of bums me out that her runway was what it was, because I think she could have been high this week. She's going for an oceanic inspiration. The Canada's Drag Race girls tend to watch a lot of these reviews and comment on them. In Season 5, I know Xana, Perla, and Uma happen to perceive some of my videos. So if any of the girlies are watching this, I promise I'm not trying to be malicious. I did drag for many years. I performed in entertainment. I'm coming at this from a place of artistry and my own critiques. Why does this look like a design challenge look? Like, it looks like she made it there. I think the white parts that are meant to look like foam were kind of frayed looking. It was kind of falling apart. I had a lot of issues with the construction of this. If she made it herself, good for her. If she paid a designer, I hope she gets her money back. Hazel comes in second, looking like Janie Jacquet. The fucking air horn was genuinely one of the funniest things I've seen on Drag Race in years for an entrance. And I gutturally laughed at that. Her mind, has anyone done an air horn walking into the Drag Race workroom? They usually get the from the SFX team when they walk in, but not a girl has walked in with her own air horn. So that was fierce. I love this schoolgirl uniform. I thought that was very cute. It gave me a good idea about her branding. And she seems like she's full of personality, which I love, because this season seems like they picked charisma as kind of the forefront of all their casting. For the performance, I thought she looked stunning in denim and diamonds, but I was so distracted by her beauty that I was not paying attention to one word she said. I even rewound a few times and I was just like, you're so pretty. Like, is it legal to be that pretty in drag? And for her runway, she is giving crystallized ice queen. The volume of this look was breathtaking, and I was kind of surprised that she didn't break top 5. Can I amend my statement from just a few seconds ago? And this is no disrespect, because both of these are icon queens that I stan real hard. If there was like a Venn diagram of Janie Jacquet and Peach and you overlap those, you get Hazel's mug. And that is such extraordinary levels of I fear I'm already standing. I thought she looked great. Her runway was giving more is more. At this point, I was really happy that they were not doing a get to know you ball. I think the last couple seasons where they've done that were fun. It was a nice little experiment. But I really missed the reactionary moments of the cast getting to see each other. The excitement they have for when someone comes in, or the grouchiness when they see that someone coming in, the drama that crops up. There's a lot of natural static that is created by them being in the room with each other. And I'm glad that they took the idea of the get to know you ball, adjusted that a little bit, and kind of put it to the side because it was a nice concept. I don't really think it's what we expect from Drag Race. I think it was too different from the other franchises. And while having a unique format I think is important, sometimes sticking to the rubric is good. So I'm glad that this is back. Van Gogh is next in the workroom. This mimey goth paint I thought was really graphic. The floral motif of this dress was everything I needed and more because it was very much in line with what she described her drag as, but also such a departure from it. And I love to see someone who uses every color in the crayon box and is not afraid to stretch their aesthetic past the boundaries of what they just say their rigid drag style is. Like, we'll get queens all the time that are like, I'm a showgirl, and all they do are showgirl looks. They'll never explore outside of that. This looks somehow so perfectly showgirl goth, but also looks very different from, and I think that's exciting. And that pop of yellow was hot. Initially, I was worried for her because these types of queens in Canada don't always get their flowers, so I was grateful to see them embrace her and celebrate her as the episode went on. I think that she's gonna be the drama, I think she's gonna be a key, and I'm ready for it. In the performance, she had some really fun lines. A little devil with a lisp, get close, stamp. It was kind of a lot of the typical Drag Race musical challenge lines that we get. The rhythm of it was kind of enticing and magical. And then for the runway, she is presenting everything she said her brand was in her entrance. These feather fans that reveal the punk ear that has all the piercings in it was brilliant. I've never seen anything like that before, and I always expect that Canada is going to expand my understanding of drag. It baffles me that people do not like this franchise because the queens that come in every season are pushing the limits. It was a surprising look and it plays into her name, Van Gogh, Van Gogh, who lost an ear. Great wordplay. Easily one of the best of the night, purely for that entrance look and the runway look. Like, those were top worthy in my opinion. Next in we have Dulce. As a Latino, I was very excited to see a Mexicano, and I love a girl who is unapologetically Mexican. And I'm gonna say it, I did not like anything presented this week. The entrance look was not my favorite. I really wish it had some sparkle to it because it wasn't a wow. In the challenge, I thought Dulce was easily the weakest energy of everyone there, and the presentation was kind of messy. And on the runway, she's giving Mexican excellence and elegance. And it was a great look to share who she is, but I kind of felt like it was more of an entrance look than it was more is more. Like, it was just, this was a photo challenge look. Down. I don't know if this met the brief. And Van Gogh dislikes her, so I feel like there's gonna be some interesting tension through the season. Next in is Ebony LaBelle. She is a beautiful trans woman. She looks sickening, and I feel like this girlie is gonna buck when it comes to dancing or performance challenges. If they do a lip sync Lollapalooza, the girls are cooked. I can just feel it. She comes in looking very Spice Girls coded. She says that she studied drag and not just Drag Race. And I love that she read down all the girlies that go on to Drag Race that only started drag so that they could get on the show, because that is kind of pervasive in current drag culture. And when she said, okay, we got some boogers in here. Oh, I'm so ready for her. I hope that she maintains this energy all season because that could carry her to the finale. I did feel a little bit like she was putting on extra shade, so I'm curious how that is going to manifest itself as the season goes, because the Canada's Drag Race girls tend to kind of stamp out that energy quickly. So if she keeps reading the girls fiercely, I'm worried that maybe she could get snuffed out early if they're doing the beaver format. In the performance, I thought she was gorgina. She is giving such high levels of energy and performance, but much like some of the others, I was distracted by her beauty that I was not paying one lick of attention to her lyrics. I was just like, how is it legal to be that pretty? And on the runway, I enjoyed the mix of textures. The sparkles and the shiny textiles were interesting together. It was kind of giving me like fortune teller on a pirate ship. I do feel like for More is More, the volume could have been amplified even more. I feel like all the elements could have been grander. And I'm pretty sure that one of those fabrics was lame. That's a very difficult fabric to pull off, but she looked stunning in it. So I do give kudos for that. Next in is Paolo Perfection. I feel like y'all are gonna be so mad at me. She says she's inspired by the sluts of America. Do American sluts have backbending nails? This woman is proof that you can have charisma in buckets, but have no volume in the way you present it. Her performance was insane. The lyrics were crazy. I just shaved my model pussy. And that whack fucking Animal Crossing. When someone is so beautiful like that and is a lunatic behind all of it, it's like Gothy Kendo going, rawr. Like, you are a goofball. Why is the volume down here, baby? I hope that we see her break out of some of that and give us a little more personality, because it was like performance on Ambien. On the runway, she is a biblically accurate angel. Right. She said so emphatically and so dully. Her energy so much was giving like, my family is being held at gunpoint and I have to be here. And when Hollywood Jade said, okay, it was giving me a mix of like Raja O'Hara right after Serena and Cha-Cha went, Olay! And it cuts to Raja saying, okay. Mixed with, hey Brooke, are you sure that we can't eliminate someone today? I think she's a hoot, but also, what? PM is next. They describe themselves as a horny drag alien. As someone who is a horny envy person, yes. I will say, the look wasn't my favorite. The girls are already worried about them because apparently they are a performer. I love me a mustache drag artist. I did not love the costuming. I'm not a huge fan of this melted chocolate, I think in general. And so the entrance look wasn't my favorite, and I also didn't love the shapes. Love alt drag, it didn't click with me. And then in the performance, I really liked their energy. The lyrics were fun. I loved the play on being sexy while also like, oop-tee. Because as someone who is H-word all the time, work, I'm here for it. But the look was really rough. And then on the runway, they're giving this green bug kind of clowny look. I love a crotch bulge, but this was not my most favorite look, if I'm being honest. To me, it was saying more freak show than more is more. I was not getting the brief of the runway. Maya Fox is next, coming in the workroom saying, well, jumpin' Jesus. That as an entrance line is so wild, and yet I am here for it. They are blending Inuit culture with 90s references, and that is a perspective we have not seen yet, so I'm very excited. They seem incredibly confident, which I love to see. That is 85% of the Drag Race journey. In the performance, I did find them a bit boring. I thought maybe it was one of the lower performances of the night. And on the runway, I think a puffer jacket is very hard to pull off. She was going for Missy meets Matrix. Puff fabric is very difficult to make work and to present fiercely. You have to have the right shapes and proportions so that it doesn't just look like a lump of fabric sitting on your body. I think maybe the shoulders needed to be exaggerated just a little bit, just to create a little bit of shape, structure, and illusion, because you've got all those bumps and ridges. And while that is a shape, because it's all one color, there's not a lot of color blocking on it. You've got to do something to kind of trick the eye into making it look even more impressive. And I think this was an impressively constructed look. It just was missing a bit of that extremity to bring it to more is more. And the silhouette was not silhouetting for me. Saltina Shaker is next, wearing one of my favorite entrance looks I think of all time. I am a slut for an animal print with a color pop and zebra with red. And they have 2+ million followers on TikTok. Yo. That's insanity. I think that might be one of the most followed performers that's ever been on the show. I think they're very cute out of drag, love the mullet, love the energy, love the personality. I very much enjoy what I'm seeing on the runway. You can tell they got that TikTok budget because they're gonna come in with looks, I think. They do a lot of fast transition and catchy audio clips from what I observed just by my quick scrolling. So I feel like they're going to kind of understand what the audience is wanting, and that could serve them very well as the competition goes. Plus they've got the aesthetics to back it. I want to say on a shady note, I hope that because they are a TikTok famous person, I hope their fans are less ravenous and delusional than some other TikTok fans have been from other seasons of Drag Race who get insanely protective and really weird and bully people in comments. I don't put up with that here. Go do that on somebody else's channel. Or better yet, don't do it at all. In the performance, I thought they were a great opener to this music video. Perfect energy, I will say. I love the lyrics and the dancing, all 10s. And then on the runway, they're giving us a dragon princess. This was this perfect mixture of couture and camp blended together perfectly. The look was refined and elegant, but it was pushing boundaries of what I expect from a Drag Race runway. I am so excited to see what this performer is going to bring week to week. The tail was everything and it was impressive. In my opinion, I felt like they were the winner this week. Then Sammy Landry comes creeping around that corner like a little gremlin who's trying to steal cookies from the kitchen while mom is making dinner. Why is her look giving me Morgan McMichaels as Pink? I'm so obsessed with this crazy girl. And the internet seems to be as well. That moment in Meet the Queens where she says, "I'm not that polished." Pfft, earring falls off. Period. She won. Give her the crown. Her charisma is maxed out to 10, and we don't often see drag performers just come in with a maxed out stat, and I think that's going to help carry her very far in the competition, or at least I'm hoping so, because I think she's gonna bring great TV. Her performance in the challenge was one of my favorites. I'm hot and famous. You smell like anus. Cigarette mom celebrity. Your For You page is obsessed with me. Yes, of course we are. How could we not be? We must stand this woman. This is a lunatic, and I'm here for it. And I say that in a good way. And then on the runway, she was giving more crazed looks. It was tacky glam, it was giving laundry day. I enjoyed the sense of whimsy in constructing this look. I love her mind and how it works, and I think she should have been top 5. It's gonna be really hard for me not to stand this girl as the season goes on. Cara Milk is next in the room. Can I press the button? Boop, diva alert, wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. This is one of the most gorgeous creatures that I have ever perceived on Drag Race. Ever. And her mom is Kimmy Couture, which, like, holy smokes. I already know she's gonna burn down this building if she ends up in bottom 2. She is going to give it. This melted chocolate fantasy was everything. I love the way that it was just swiffering that floor as it came in, and that extra tail piece came off so that she could perform however she needed to for that first week. If they needed them to jump in water, she wasn't gonna get weighed down by the skirt. If they needed to juggle fire, she wasn't going to have to deal with the skirt. Also, I changed my mind. I love melted chocolate. I think she looks beautiful in it. I didn't like it earlier. And that stonework was very fun too. In the performance, I thought she easily had the best voice of the entire night. I was gooped and gagged that she was not top 5 because I loved her presence. She just has this thing that connects through the camera to me. And then on the runway, I love that she was continuing her workroom entrance storyline, giving us another melted golden chocolate. It was rich looking, her mug was muggy, that hair flawless. Everything was the moment, 10s, 10s, 10s. I do think it was a little disconnected with the excessive prompt that I was thinking of with More is More, but I still loved it. And did I mention diva alert? And then last in the workroom is Velma Jones. This is a really big deal that they are here because they do both femme drag and mask drag. Canada's Drag Race pushing the boundaries of what drag can be and drag can do on a televised spectacle like Drag Race by incorporating a drag king. And let us not forget, Canada's Drag Race versus the World Season 1 featured Victoria Scone and allowed her to do a drag king look for the ball and celebrated that and put her in top 2. I love that Canada's Drag Race exists to push what we expect from Drag Race. This look was everything. Translating foxtails through feminine hygiene products, brilliant. Remember when Manila wasn't allowed to do a tampon dress because it had the red on it and censorship wouldn't let her? I'm really glad that they were able to air this on Canada. She's already taking huge swings. I loved the through line of the entrance look and the runway, but we'll get there in just a moment. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm excited. In the challenge, I thought she sounded amazing and she did a solid performance. But on the runway, this evolution of the entrance look, the kind of mega form of what that entrance look was. Like you give it a mega stone, it evolves, turns into this fierce feminine hygiene product. And translating what we normally see in those commercials where they'll do the blue splash because red is vulgar and you can't show that on TV because it's gonna, even though blood is natural, it's not that serious. I love that she took that idea and evolved it from her entrance. I love through lines. The look was clean, it was expensive looking. I loved that flower on the headpiece because flower, vagina. The shape was perfection. I do agree with Brooke that the look was kind of wearing her. I think maybe if the hair was a little sleeker, pulled back into a big bun, and then maybe that flower was fascinated into that big bun, maybe that would have kind of balanced out the look a bit. But I do want to say this is an important message to bring up on Drag Race because the unnecessary censorship of feminine hygiene products really needs to be talked about and needs to be evaluated because half of our population in the world globally are going to have periods. Why are we pretending that we can't talk about it or show the color red on TV? If someone's uncomfortable by that, maybe they need to go get educated better. Crazy thought. Because let's be real, if it was happening to a man, those products would be free and available in every bathroom across the universe. That's all I'm saying. This group is electric as hell, and I loved the premise of this first episode. Lemon being there was a great callback to the first season. Glad to see so many references. And when Brooke had Paula do the "don't fuck it up" monologue, we're really tossing it back to season 1 this episode because if anyone remembers, back in the day, the guest judges used to do the cover girl walk, announce everybody, and do the two queens stand before us. So as a Canada's Drag Race stan, that made my heart very happy. First time since season 1 that that's happened. And having Paula Abdul here, who very clearly loves the show and the franchise and was very present with each one of these queens, was great to see. Brooke is here to serve looks again. This catsuit with all of these beautiful plumes of feathers on the boobs, on the puss, on the head, and that stole, shut up. Brooke is going to give it to us this season. I can feel it. The top 5 are then called. Velma Jones is up there, which I totally agreed with. Saltina Shaker is top 5, which I agreed with. I think probably they should have won the challenge because everything from start, middle to end was a knockout. Their looks have been deadly and it's been a great showing so far. PM is also top 5, which I don't know. I would have probably put Sammy up there. Ebony LaBelle is also top 5. And again, I probably would have put Cara Milk up there. I thought the looks and performance from Cara Milk were a little stronger. And Van Gogh is also top 5, which I was surprised about. Purely because Canada's Drag Race doesn't do the best at uplifting these types of queens. Paula giving her bevel lessons was everything. And in Untucked, there is already very clear tension between Dulce and Van Gogh. They're gonna be the drama, but also, I feel like they're only gonna put up with Ebony's energy for so long before they start to clock it. It's a little early to start getting overconfident, so I'm curious to see where that story is gonna go. Van Gogh is called as this week's winner, which I was gagged by, not because I didn't think she deserved it, but because I did not expect Canada to make that move. And typically, the person who wins the first episode goes all the way to the end. So I'm kind of curious to see how Van Gogh's trajectory will be through the rest of the season. The lip sync song is Cold Hearted Snake, and I felt like Van Gogh started with great energy. She was working out this like puss thing that I don't normally expect from her archetype of queen. I don't mean to be shady, but sometimes people that have that kind of graphic makeup, that have that particular aesthetic, don't perform that well. But I thought that she was great in the first half, and I noticed that she kind of lost steam as the lip sync went on, and it's tough when you are next to Brooklyn Heights. She was on the floor, she was doing stunts, she was doing leg work, she was doing hairography, she was giving every single lyric down. She ate up that stage with her whole body and left no crumbs. No one is sent home this week, thank God, and next week the competition revs up. Carson is here to replace Bradley. Kind of bummed because I really love Brad, but also all good things have to end. It's very likely next season of España we won't have the Javis anymore. And mainline Drag Race replaced Santino, thank God, with Ross and Carson. There's rumors that the two of them might get replaced. Maybe because Carson is here, maybe he'll be here full time and we'll get La Roche down in US. But then that means we get the hilarious Ross Matthews. Maybe they'll replace him too with TS, that would be nice. Anyways, next week they're gonna be doing commercials for a drag cruise line. This is gonna be a train wreck, I can already tell, because the acting challenges early are always like that. I'm not looking forward to the secondhand embarrassment and cringe of whatever this is going to be, especially because Carson is here and I don't think he's got the best directorial skills. Directorial? Who are you rooting for so far this season? I am electrified by everything that's going on. Cannot wait to see more. Very sat down for this season. If you have the means, feel free to check out my Extravaganza Extra membership program where you can watch some of my posted videos earlier than others. Thank you for watching and I will see y'all on the flip.